Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to discuss the ISC poem Small Towns and the River by Mamang Dai. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. In this video, we are going to discuss the background and central message of the poem. I am going to give you a stanza-wise line-by-line explanation along with word meanings to the poem, and we are also going to discuss 4 major themes of the poem in details. Mamang Dai is a distinguished Indian poet, novelist and journalist from Arunachal Pradesh. She is renowned for her lyrical poetry, which often reflects her deep connection with the natural landscape and the cultural heritage of her region. Her works frequently explore the themes of life, death, and the passage of time, interwoven with rich traditions and beliefs of her community. And you can read more about her on page 60 in your textbooks, where you'll get a better idea about the kind of work that she has been doing, and she is still alive and with us. Small Towns and the River is a reflective poem that delves into the interplay of life and death and how natural elements remain constant amidst the transient or the fleeting human existence. The poem is set against the backdrop of a small town in Arunachal Pradesh, and the poem captures the essence of how the inhabitants of this place are able to relate to their environment, rituals, and the inevitability of death. The central message of the poem is how life is fleeting while nature endures. It is ever present, just like the natural elements in this poem. The example of the river is given. It is ever flowing. It emphasizes the permanence of the natural cycles and rituals, contrasting them with human experiences which are short-lived and are subjected to life and death. But as an element of nature, you will remain eternal. That is, nature remains eternal. So the central message, if I tell it to you in one line, is that while man is mortal, that is, we human beings are subjected to life and death, nature is eternal. It lives on forever. And by nature I mean, in this case, the river. Let us now in detail discuss the line-by-line meaning of stanza 1. Small towns always remind me of death. The speaker associates small towns with mortality, perhaps due to their intimate and close-knit nature, where life and death are more personal and life and death is felt more closely, because in a town setup there are fewer houses, the population is less, the people are better connected with each other. My hometown lies calmly amidst the trees. So the hometown is described as a very serene, calm, tranquil place somewhere among the trees, indicating a peaceful coexistence with nature. It is always the same in summer or winter with the dust flying. That is, the town is depicted as unchanging, suggesting a timeless quality. Regardless of the season, whether it is summer or winter, the essence of the town, the vibe of the town remains constant. And during dry seasons, the dust symbolizes the ever-present cycle of life and decay. That is, this town is no exception. People and life over here is subjected to death and decay. Or the wind howling down the gorge. So the howling wind represents the powerful force of nature, and sometimes how nature can become harsh in the way the wind is howling or shouting, or there is a fierce wind which is blowing, and this aspect is constant in the town's life. So very beginning itself we see how The hometown is just mentioned once, and more emphasis is being given to describe the constant activities of nature throughout a particular year. To quickly tell you about the mention of the word gorge in stanza 1, you can see an clear image of it on your screens. It is basically a kind of a narrow valley between the hills or mountains, typically with steep rocky walls and a stream running through it. There is a poem which is also live on my channel called The Brook. You will get to see better representations of the gorge over there, and I would say that The Brook is a companion poem to this poem. Stanza 2. Just the other day someone died. So you see over here, death has been highlighted, making it something which is a familiar occurrence in small towns. Now this death could be due to various reasons, perhaps because people are genuinely of an older age. It could be a natural death, or maybe it could also be a fact that because the town is a remote place which is generally secluded from the main city, perhaps the amenities, the facilities are not reaching on time over here. The reason is not stated, but what is highlighted here is how death is no exception in this town. In the dreadful silence we wept, looking at the sad wreath of tuberoses. So the community of this town collectively mourns, indicating a strong communal bond. Tuberoses, which are often used in funerals, over here symbolize the purity and the transient nature of life. You could say that people of this town are prepared for death as much as they are prepared for new life. Life and death, only the rituals are permanent. The repetition emphasizes the cyclic nature of existence. Just as I told you that people over here are accustomed to the two elements which are the predominant elements of a human being's life, which is birth and death. While individuals live and they come and go, the rituals surrounding life and death remain constant and provide a sense of continuity. So we could also say that how the town is very effective in passing on the traditions associated with birth and death or life and death very aptly to the upcoming generations. And it is because of this that even though life and death are certain elements that people come and go, however, the traditions, the rituals, the way of bidding farewell or welcoming a new person remain constant and keep rolling. Stanza 3. The river has a soul. In the summer, it cuts through the land like a torrent of grief. So over here we see that the river has been personified. It has been given human qualities by equating it with a soul, suggesting it possesses life and consciousness just like human beings, because there is the spiritual aspect of our life, which is that we are ultimately souls. During summer, the river's force is evident as it shapes the land, because in summer season what happens? The snow melts from the mountains and makes its way into the rivers, filling up the rivers up to the brim. The flow of the river is compared to an overwhelming surge or rise of grief, reflecting its emotional impact. Sometimes I think it holds its breath, seeking a land of fish and stars. So the river's stillness at times is compared to as if a human being holding on to its breath, implying anticipation, deep thinking. The phrase of seeking a land of fish and stars suggests a quest, a wish, a desire for an ideal or mystical place, symbolizing the river's eternal journey. That is, why does the river continue to flow on forever? Because the river has a quest It is more so in the journey that the river enjoys rather than reaching its ultimate destination, which is the vast ocean, right? Stanza 4. The river has a soul. It knows, stretching past the town from the first drop of rain to the dry death and mist on the mountain tops. Basically, the repetition of the river's personification highlights the importance of the river as to how it continues to flow on forever. The river is depicted as a wise person who knows everything and extends beyond the town's borders. That is, this particular river is not just limited to flowing through this town, but it flows through other places as well. The river's journey from rain to parched land symbolizes the water cycle and its nature to be present everywhere. Isn't it written, from the first drop of rain to dry earth? That is, from the first drop of rain, which contributes to the flow of the river, it helps the river to move ahead and water the dry earth. The river's connection to the mist on the mountains suggests the origin of the river, that is, in the mountains when the snow melts. The river knows the immortality of water. That is, the river's knowledge is emphasized over here, suggesting how the river holds ancient wisdom, because the activity of the river has been going on just like the rituals of the town. It has been passing on from one generation to the other. So here we see how water is portrayed as immortal. It reinforces the theme of continuity and the eternal nature of natural elements. That is, water is something which we all know as per geography knowledge. We have 70% of water. If you ever stop to think, this water contains memories and vibrations of people from all over the world. Isn't it said, when you are drinking water, you need to send good vibes to the water so that you are able to get a positive effect out of it? So imagine the place, the ocean, the seas, the rivers, don't they carry the vibration of the places from where they pass? What a beautiful way in which the poet has made use of the river as an example here. A shrine of happy pictures marks the days of childhood. So childhood memories are here compared to a shrine, indicating how sacred and joyful are childhood memories. Even for us, I don't know about my audience, my viewers who are watching this video, but try to stop for a moment, pause the video and think of your fondest childhood memory, and you can let me know in the comment section down below. And why do you think it is a sacred or a joyful memory? So these memories are significant because they are a part of your formative years, means the years that you are growing up. Small towns grow with anxiety for the future. The town people experience anxiety as the town evolves and faces an uncertain future. The anticipation of future brings unease. Even I don't know what I am going to do maybe 1 month from now or 1 year from now. Just thinking about the future makes people feel anxious, and the townspeople are no exception. The dead are placed pointing west. So this refers to the burial custom where the dead people are made to lie in the grave by facing the west, like their feet are towards the west, symbolizing the end of life. When the soul rises, it will walk into the golden east, into the house of the sun. So upon death, the soul is believed to rise. The soul's journey towards the east symbolizes rebirth and enlightenment. The east is associated with the sun, which represents a new beginning or afterlife. Stanza 6. In the cool bamboo restored in sunlight, life matters like this. That is, bamboo, which is often associated and found in the tranquil natural settings, symbolizes peace and resilience. The image of the sunlight implies renewal and rejuvenation. Life is affirmed or is confirmed by stating that the true meaning of life is found in the simple living and by connecting with nature. In small towns by the river, we want to walk with the gods. So the setting is reinforced, emphasizing the intimate relationship which is there, the very close bond between the towns and the river. The desire to connect with the divine or with God reflects a longing to move beyond the present world and be able to find spiritual fulfillment in life. The major themes of the poem Small Towns and the River includes life and death, nature and immortality, community and rituals, and spirituality. Let us discuss them in details now. To talk about life and death, we see how the poem explores the cyclic nature of life and death, reflecting on how these cycles are a constant part of human experience, especially in small towns. The speaker describes how the presence of death is a regular part of life in such communities. This is illustrated in lines such as "Just the other day someone died," highlighting how death is a familiar and accepted occurrence. The phrase life and death underscores the poem's central idea that while individuals live, the rituals surrounding the birth and death remain and are everlasting. Secondly, when we talk about nature and immortality, we see that nature, particularly through the example of the river, serves as a powerful symbol of continuity and immortality. The river is described as having a soul, suggesting that it has an eternal essence. It flows from the first drop of rain to dry earth and mist on the mountain tops, symbolizing the constant cycle of water and its transformative journey through different forms. The depiction over here contrasts sharply with the nature of human life, where we human beings are subjected to death and decay. We see the poem places a strong emphasis on the sense of community and the importance of cultural rituals. In small towns, the communal experience of life and death is very deep, with the entire community coming together to mourn or celebrate. The description of communal mourning in the lines "In the dreadful silence we wept" highlights the collective nature of grief and the shared experiences of loss. Rituals like placing the dead pointing the west and the belief that the soul will walk into the golden east highlight the cultural practices that help the community navigate and face the cycles of life and death. Lastly, when I talk about spirituality, it is a significant theme in the poem because we can see it being expressed in how the soul is rising and walking into the golden east, into the house of the sun. The direction towards the east is associated with the rising sun, symbolizing a journey towards enlightenment, renewal, and spiritual rebirth. The poem's closing lines also capture this spiritual yearning. The desire to walk with the gods signifies a quest for transcendence that is moving beyond this world into a deep connection with the higher power. So in totality, we see how each of these themes capture the complex interplay between the impermanent nature of human life and the constancy of nature and rituals. The poem reflects on the comfort that comes from communal bonds and cultural practices, and the human aspirations, desires, and wishes for spiritual connection. Mamang Dai's imagery and lyrical style in this poem tries to create a deep meditation on existence, community feeling, and the natural world. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.